Welcome, everyone, to the 32nd annual celebration of 8 over 80. Yes, please. I call your attention to the back of the room as we welcome the 8 over 80 honorees, accompanied by students of Frankel Jewish Academy. Deede Auster, presented by Sydney Michelson. Nancy Jacobson, accompanied by Jessica Tracht. Barbara Kratchman, presented by Zoe Kelman. Michael Maddin, accompanied by Zeev Main. Neil Satovsky, presented by Louis Kowalski. Mark Schlussel, accompanied by Mia Schlussel. Michael Serling, presented by Ryan Reinstein. Rachel Yoskowitz, accompanied by Paige Mirov Radner. As honorees and students go to their tables, we rise and welcome the Michigan Veteran Color Guard, followed by Hazzan Propis to lead us in the anthems.
Balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia umfatem mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia Olo Tikvateinu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Liotam chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Hazzan, Propis, thank you so much for your glorious voice. Appreciate you. Welcome, everyone, to Jewish Senior Life's 32nd annual 8 over 80 Tikkun Olam Awards. I'm Ned Specktor, your MC and host today. I now invite Rabbi Elliot Pachter of Frankel Jewish Academy to lead us in the Hamotzi.
So happy to be here from Frankel Jewish Academy, where we have been participating in JSL's 8 over 80. This is our 15th year. A blessing for us, and we're grateful to God for this blessing and grateful to God for this food. So please join me. I'll do the washing hands blessing, and you can join me for Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Thank you to Frankel's Dean of Jewish Life and Learning, Rabbi Elliot Pachter, for your leadership in this collaboration, and to all the outstanding staff at FJA. We applaud you. Yikes. So at this time, I invite Rabbi Yoni Dahlen of Congregation Sherek Zedek to the stage to offer the invocation.
Shalom uvracha, boker tov. Good morning, everyone. There is a grave mistake that our society often makes, and our younger generations are particularly susceptible to it. It is the mistake of treating our elders with respect and reverence for what they did, who they were, what they accomplished, what they contributed. It is the mistake of relegating all those verbs to the past tense. It is the mistake of failing to see that a singular focus on the past eclipses a spectacular present. And to be sure, it is a mistake that we make to our own detriment. Because as evidenced by the incredible talent, energy, enthusiasm, and passion of the men and women whom we honor this morning as our 8 over 80, the impact we make on our communities, in our cities, for the Jewish people, and for our world as a whole is not limited by any social construction. And it is certainly not limited by an arbitrary designation of years traveled around the sun. The greatness of our impact is not up to social mistakes. It is not up to misconceptions or tired and antiquated perceptions. The greatness of our impact is up to us. It's up to us. And while we, of course, honor and celebrate the accomplishments of the past that have brought us to this moment, the words of Shehachianu, the prayers on our lips and in our hearts this morning for you, Deede, Nancy, Bunny, Michael, Neil, Mark, Michael, and Rachel, are prayers of gratitude and awe for right here and for right now. Not just for what you did, not just for who you were, but emphatically for what you do and for who you are. Because we as the Jewish community of Metro Detroit are the beneficiaries of your spectacular present. We are the recipients of your vision, of your dedication, of your hard work, of the countless hours you devote to making all of us better. And because of you, we are. We are better. We are stronger. We are closer. Our minds and our hearts are more open. Our set beliefs and biases are challenged in a thoughtful and respectful way. we are wiser, we are safer, we are kinder, and we are more Jewish. And we are more hopeful because of you. Saying thank you is the very least that we can do, but we say it regardless, because you are deserving of thanks. But while we say thank you, we also offer together the words of Shechianu, because today is a celebration of this moment, of this now. For the leaders you are, for the impact you make day in and day out on this community that is so lucky and blessed to call you ours. So I will invite our honorees to please rise at their tables, if you are able. As all of us join together in the words of Shechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, Master of the universe, who has given us life, who has sustained us, who has brought us together for this spectacular and sacred now. From all of us to you, Mazel Tov.
Thank you so much for your inspirational words, Rabbi Dahlen. We appreciate you. So everyone, please enjoy a delicious brunch during today's program. I want to offer a special Mazel Tov to Michael Maddin in celebration of his 85th birthday today. Not often we have an honoree with a birthday on the same day. Mazel Tov to you. So 8 over 80 is the signature fundraising event for Jewish Senior Life, supporting the mission to enrich the lives of older adults in metropolitan Detroit. As a provider of senior services in our region, JSL offers warm, welcoming, and inclusive communities where residents enjoy living the Chai life in independent living, assisted living, and memory care on 2 campuses in West Bloomfield and in Oak Park. Since 1907, Jewish Senior Life has been a trusted home and haven for our mothers and our fathers. Guided by a strong, visionary leadership team and a deeply committed board of directors, JSL continues to be the heart and soul of a warm and Hamish community. JSL takes great pride in quality of life services, stimulating and engaging programs, and a wide assortment of wellness and enrichment classes that keep the residents active, connected, and inspired. Thanks to your generous support, this vibrant lifestyle is possible. Thank you for helping us ensure that every day at JSL is filled with purpose, meaning, and joy. I have personally witnessed this joy every time I visit, and I love these residents, the amazing staff, the beautiful apartments, and the grounds. Each community is guided by compassionate and skilled administrators, supported by dedicated resident service coordinators who are on-site social workers. Everyone works to create a true sense of belonging to assure that every resident's needs are met with dignity. Life enrichment coordinators curate a lively calendar of daily activities designed to engage the mind, body, and spirit. From arts and culture to wellness and social events, there's always something meaningful and fun happening at JSL. JSL offers significant volunteer opportunities that engage individuals and families across generations. Friends of JSL are the volunteer arm. Bar and Bat Mitzvah students perform acts of service, and volunteers of all ages contribute by teaching and leading classes, hosting games and snack times, and support daily life by working in the boutiques and in the cafes. Even the residents give back, sharing their time and talents with each other. Volunteers are the heart of our mission, forming vital connections between the broader community and those who call JSL home. Through the Program for Holocaust Survivors and Families, JSL extends services and care to over 140 Holocaust survivors in our Detroit metropolitan community. For families caring for a loved one with dementia, JSL, together with our partners at Gesher, offers hope at the Dorothy and Peter Brown Jewish Community Adult Day program. The program, led by professional staff, provides support, engagement, and community for participants, as well as respite for their family caregivers. We invite you to join us and get involved in a way that touches your hearts. Your generous financial contributions allow us to continue providing a vibrant, supportive community for everyone. To our esteemed honorees, we are truly grateful. Your many contributions in the community have earned a place in our hearts and have made it possible for us to celebrate you today. We eagerly look forward to sharing your inspiring words in a special standalone film from the talented filmmaker Scott Wasserman. So at your tables, you're going to find a commemorative ad journal filled with loving tributes and heartfelt messages from your families and from your friends. You can also view these journals on your smartphones by scanning the QR codes that are placed at each table. Each honoree was paired with a student who conducted interviews and got to know them personally. The teens wrote thoughtful essays about the honorees' lives. These essays appear in the ad journal and will be also featured on the JSL website for an entire year, preserving your stories of Tikkun Olam as a source of inspiration. I love to visit and interact with JSL residents and staff and enjoy participating in classes and programs. These moments define this very special culture. So please relax and enjoy a glance behind the scenes and witness people living the high life at JSL. Scott Wasserman, please roll the video.
We are so excited to show you a day in the life of residents living here at Jewish Senior Life. Come on, let's go check it out. It's time to break out the drumsticks, cardio drumming. Let's go.
Cardio drumming is fun, great music. We use our upper body and we stretch and go from side to side, go to the music. It's very fun.
Woo! Guys, this is a legit workout. Mwah. That's so sweet.
Now let it out, go. All the way.
Feeling very centered here
Let's come
in
back to
chair
center.
yoga. I love it.
Wiggle the toes.
Relaxing, great.
Stay focused
And
on
I'm meeting
your
new friends.
practice.
These movements help mimic real life situations. So it's like helpful exercises that they can actually implement in real life, right?
Yes, so the purpose of Power Back being in-house here is to help the senior residents be as independent as possible.
Hi, Bella. How are you? Bella, will you sniff the microphone if you love JSL? Yeah, that's a good dog. All right, let's see what we're making at Rick's Woodshop. Let's go. Now look at this. How does it feel to sit on something that you made? This is, most people don't know how to do this. This is special work. How does that feel?
It's great. We take a lot of pride in it.
Gratifying.
Yeah.
Gratifying.
What do you want people to know about why living here is special and unique?
The staff is magnificent. Whatever you need, they are there, ready to provide.
And dogs too.
And dogs too.
They have it all.
To me, Mir is a city within a city. We have classes galore, so what else can you ask for?
So a gem in this community is called the Brown Center, a place where caregivers can drop off their loved ones who are living with cognitive challenges where they can still feel like they are living life to the fullest. Let's go see the magic of this place. Come on. For people that don't know about what the Brown Center does, Give us the overview, because this is really, really special.
Our goal is basically twofold. One, to provide services to people with a cognitive altering diagnosis, so everyone who comes to our program will have a diagnosis. And the second is to provide support, resources, and programming education to their family care partners.
We just saw a yoga class. I felt very relaxed, but then you showed me this board of activities, and there's so much going on here.
Everybody who comes to our program comes based on their own schedule. So what works for them, what works for their family, when are their peak times to be active and engaged, and those kinds of things. And our space is set up in such a way so that if there's someone that's not interested in something, we have a second activity going on. It's really a special environment, and we consider ourselves as person-centered as we can be, so we're really just meeting each person who comes here where they are.
The tunes are playing, it's time to exercise. Let's go. Oh yeah, I'm feeling the burn. Feel the burn. You're doing great, my friend.
I'm a Bobby, that's where you get the strength.
Amen, amen. What do you love about living here?
Everything. It's like living on a cruise ship. Yes.
What's your favorite part about living here?
Everything. Everything is very, very, very nice. I've not been here that long. It's very nice.
You are moving like a champ.
90 years old.
90 years old. What's your secret?
Youth and beauty.
I think you are beautiful, my friend.
Thank you.
Now to music. We're having a very musical and active day today.
You are my sunshine,
my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Wow, there is so much going on these campuses. You can feel the love, the community, the connection with these amazing people and so many activities. They are truly living the high life.
So we shared a delightful day of activities and fun, and it is like living on a cruise ship. Programs on both campuses are unique and suit a wide variety of residents. Joe Strausz Rosen and I shared that day, and now I invite her to join me on stage.
Oh my God. Ned, thank you. You having fun?
I am indeed. I am indeed. So
I appreciate you. You know, from the residences to the red carpet and back on stage, you show up with authenticity and love. And this year, serving as our MC, we are so proud of you. And I appreciate you so much.
appreciate you. Thank you, Joe.
All right, now leave. Speaking of light, we're so lucky. I'd like to draw your attention to the beautiful candles and matches on your tables. Take them home as our gift to you, and think of us as you kindle the Shabbos lights next week. In a year when we can all use more light, may these candles bring warmth, peace, and joy into your homes, and we pray for the safe return for all the hostages. 8/80, JSL's largest yearly fundraiser, has raised more support than ever. A huge and heartfelt thanks to our visionary sponsors, the Ravitz Foundation, and to Neil and Joni Satovsky for making the difference. We are grateful. We're grateful to all our incredible sponsors and donors. Your contributions make a world of difference, helping us provide kosher meal subsidies for our most vulnerable residents, vital in-home support, and a yearly calendar full of meaningful, joyful, and enriching experiences. Because of you, we can host a variety of wellness programs, concerts, speakers, and out trips. Your contributions help us grow the Mir Gardens and Patio, where connections and beauty blossom side by side. One of our biggest hits since last year are the popular Live and Learn classes with Oakland University professors. JSL residents are thriving. And you can tell because you see their faces regularly featured in the Jewish news, on local TV news stations, and our stories have even been picked up by national TV. Good Morning America. Check it out.
They're some of the Detroit Lions' oldest fans, both in age and how long they've been supporting the team. And now members of the Jewish Senior Life of Metro Detroit are getting in the playoff spirit, hosting a Roarin' with Pride pep rally. Take a look.
We have a lot of fun. JSL donors just don't support programs. You help us build a vibrant, connected, and caring community. You bring in the light every single day, and we're so grateful. As of today, we've raised over $620,000. If you haven't taken the opportunity yet to contribute, consider doing so through the QR code on your tables. You can get somebody young to help you if you don't know what you're doing. Join me up here.
Thank you, Joe. So, Frankel Jewish Academy has been an 8/80 partner since 2011. Honorees become mentors, and lifetime relationships are built with these brilliant students. A special shout out to all the FJA students today. Please, round of applause. And another special thank you to Rabbi Elliot Pachter for your leadership in this collaboration. We appreciate you. And to all the outstanding staff and families, we want to call you out and just say thank you so much. We really applaud you one more time. And last but not least, a very special thank you to all the parents, grandparents, and siblings of the students for supporting JSL. Please, if you are an FJA student, parent, or teacher, if you could please stand so we can give you a proper round of applause. We appreciate you. All right, back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Ned. I now ask that the 8/80 committee please rise. Thank you to our chair, Arlene Selleck, and all of you for your support, ideas, and assistance with this year's gala. We're so lucky to have you. I want to thank the Jewish Federation of Detroit and all the members of our sister agencies who have joined us today to celebrate this class of 8/80. And now I invite my favorite CEO, Nancy Heinrich, to the lectern, who will be joined by JSL Board Chair Jason Fisher.
Good afternoon, everybody, and a hearty mazel tov to all the honorees. They are amazing. You're all creating legacies that inspire strength, resilience, and service, and that light the path for all of us. May you go from strength to strength and continue to model leadership with vision, deep caring, and humility for everyone in the room. Behind every great agency is a great board partnership. I could not be more thankful or beholden to our board of directors, so many of whom are here today to support the work that we do together. You exemplify the commitment that makes a difference in the lives of those we serve. Today, I'm fortunate to share the stage with our board president, Jason Fisher. Jason has been leading this agency with clarity of vision, consistent presence for conversation and advice, and always with heart. I am so grateful for your leadership. Jason, please join me at the lectern to share some thoughts.
Thank you, Nancy. On behalf of the Board of Directors and the officers for Jewish Senior Life, mazel tov to this year's 8/80 honorees. Your continuous dedication, leadership, and support enrich our community and make the world a better place. I also want to thank our staff and volunteers for the fantastic work that each and every one of you do daily to support our mission and provide for our community's seniors. Without you, much of what we do as an agency would not be possible. I recently attended the most amazing volunteer appreciation event held at Muir Apartments. With over 200 volunteers gathered together, the room was filled with energy, gratitude, and joy. It's quite moving to reflect on 100 years of volunteerism, a remarkable legacy we are celebrating all year long. Listening to the history behind JSL and its volunteers and seeing the impact of generations of dedication was truly inspiring. But what stood out to me the most were all the smiles. These are the moments that remind us of why our Detroit Jewish community is so special and is the reason why we continue to do our hard work. The spirit of service and the sense of connection make a difference at JSL. To every volunteer who gives their time, thank you. You are the light that carries our mission forward, and we are endlessly grateful. Thank you all for being here today to recognize and honor this year's 8 over 80 class. Mazel tov again to the 2025 honorees.
Thank you so much, both of you, for all of your leadership. Let's take a moment now to recognize a very special group among us today. We're honored to be joined by a number of the past 8 over 80s who have returned to celebrate this year's incredible class of 2025. Your impact continues to endure, and we're grateful for the legacy that you have created. If you're a past 8 over 80 honoree, I invite you to rise and be recognized. We stand on the shoulders of all the past honorees of 8 over 80. But before we hear from them, I'd like to share with you some fun facts I learned about the current class of 8 over 80. And this is something we haven't done before, but it's going to let you get to know them a little more personally before you hear from them. So while there isn't a widely recognized best category for Jewish holiday seafood, nothing beats Nancy Jacobson's signature recipe for gefilte fish. We also learned that Nancy served as a regular bingo caller for residents at Jark. Why, there's Mark Schlussel, whose modern art canvases have been featured in several exhibitions of Jewish American artists. During a recent creative all-nighter, Mark painted a bold and textured canvas so magnificent that his wife Rosie invited him to hang it upstairs. Now that's love. Many know Neil Satovsky is passionate about the therapeutic benefits of fishing, but few are aware of his hidden talent, that of a tap dancer. He once purchased a pair of tap shoes on a trip to San Francisco, and he occasionally taps around the house. The shoes live on a shelf in his closet, polished and ready for the next show. And then there's 13-year-old Rachel Yoskowitz, who was featured front and center as the lead dancer in the Los Angeles Hebrew High School Israeli dance troupe. 13. And she did it barefoot. It was the 1950s when Israeli culture was very popular. Michael Serling has a pet peeve. Since he was a kid, every other day he was called Michael Sterling, not Serling. When he created his large family tree book a few years ago, do you know what he found? His grandparents' name on their Michigan marriage license from 1899 was mistakenly spelled Sterling. After 130 years, the typo lives on, and he will either have to change his name or live with Sterling from time to time. I spoke with Bunny Kratchman, who said, "By the time I'm 90, I'll be satisfied with my tennis game." She plays 4 to 5 times weekly in addition to enjoying yoga and long walks in her beautiful neighborhood. Deede Auster, along with Miles and their family, have camped for years, and she considers this her favorite way to travel. They have tent camped in all the national parks, and now their children continue this wonderful tradition. And then there's Mickey Maddin. He embodies the belief that staying active is the key to staying young, both in body and in mind. He's always up for new adventures and rarely says no. Every day begins with stretching and a 3 to 5 mile hike or some fitness experience with Donna, and a very healthy breakfast of cottage cheese, berries, and a banana. And now we know. It's time to hear from the honorees themselves, so I invite you to sit back, relax, enjoy our film presentation, and you'll learn why these 8 community gems were chosen to receive the Tikkun Olam Awards. Scott, dim the lights, cue the film.
I was born Barbara Ann Kukas. I'm now Barbara Kratchman. I am 82 years old. I can hardly believe it. I was born in Detroit, and I'm still a Detroiter, and I love it. My mother was a big influence in my life. She was a passionate person. I think I've got that gene in me, too. My childhood was an idyllic time. It was a formative experience for me to really know what Judaism was and how it's in your blood and in your bones. And if I fast forward, when I was a freshman in Ann Arbor, John Kennedy was on the steps of the Union the night that he talked about the Peace Corps. And that's what really sparked my interest in how my life developed after that. My first real job in the political world was for Senator Jacob Javits. That was a thrill of a lifetime. And then when I got back to Detroit, I got a telephone call from an old friend, Doug Ross. When he told me he was going to run for the Michigan Senate, I said, okay, I'm in. And we won. And it was a great time in my life where I really got into it hook, line, and sinker, and I never got out of it. I moved to Detroit in the early 70s, and the first thing I did was with the Jewish Book Fair. One of the things that I was involved with early on was a program we started which was called the Artists in the School, and it turned out to be a very meaningful experience for all of the artists. My husband Michael was the president of Kadima, and I said, I'll help you start a real arts education program. It's called Creative Expressions. This program has blossomed today, and it is magnificent. So those are the really standout experiences for my volunteer work and for my Jewish communal work as well. But if someone asks me what I'm most proud of, I'm most proud of my children and my grandchildren. They know where they're going, and they're good people in their hearts. I knew Michael a little bit when he was in law school, but I met him later on in life, and we've had a wonderful, beautiful marriage for 30-some years now. And my kids love him, and I love his kids. It's a wonderful big family. As far as my Jewish life goes, and my life in general has to do with door to door, from generation to generation, which is something that's very meaningful to me. I came from it, and I hope I have turned that over to my children and to my grandchildren. The beauty of being older is that very often you lose some of your fear. Today, don't tell me I can't do something. I love a challenge. If you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to show you that I can do it.
My name is Mark Schlussel. I'm 84 years old. I grew up in Detroit, and I still live in the Detroit area. My dad became a leader in the community. He was one of the early presidents of what was the Jewish Community Council. And my mother was very active in Jewish National Fund. They spent their time focusing us on our values. So we were given a very strong Jewish background and education, both in the house and at school. My first real job is I taught Hebrew school at B'nai David while I was in college. And that was really an enriching experience in and of itself. Rosie's older sister, Adria, and I were classmates at Mumford High School. And I saw her sister, and I thought she was kind of cute. And I asked her if she'd tell her that I was going to call, and I did. So then we started going out. So look, we've been married, thank God, 61 years. A long marriage is a gift of God, in my opinion. I graduated from University of Michigan Law School in 1965, and I was the first clerk to the Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals. And working for the Chief Judge was an extraordinary experience. After that, I was the law clerk for a little over a year. And then I went to work at a law firm in Detroit. And then we started our own law firm, Schlussel Lift, and it was fun. We grew it to a significant number of lawyers, and we merged with Miller Canfield. I continued to practice law until I went into a healthcare venture because I got involved in healthcare law. You need to stay true to your values, and being a Jew and maintaining your Jewishness is a privilege. So therefore, I got involved in Federation, and I sat on committees. And Federation was an extraordinary experience for me. I'm the first Orthodox Jew who has ever been a president of a Federation in Detroit, and that was in 1989. I ended up in my practice, I did a lot of healthcare work. I ended up as the chairman of the board of Sinai Hospital at the time when we sold Sinai Hospital to the Detroit Medical Center. I have 4 children and 12 grandchildren. Our history of the last 3,000 years is something of importance. I view myself as a link in that chain, and I would say to my children and my grandchildren, I want you to make sure that you're part of that chain so that our history can continue.
I'm Deede Auster. I'm 81 years old. I was born in Detroit, lived there most of our lives. Our household was difficult, but I was very close with my brother, and we were the pair that survived our parents. I went to Tamarack, and that's where I really picked up my Judaism. Camp Tamarack was a good means for me to learn that I was a person, that I could do things and meet people. There wasn't a lot of money in our household. I worked all the way through Mumford, and I went right from there to working at Dearborn Medical Center as a file clerk. But I got myself involved in BBG, and I was what they call a MIT mother. Then I got a 4-year scholarship to Michigan as a med tech program. My husband I met in college. Our parents fixed us up. We started dating almost immediately. He was a doctor, so all our classes were pretty much together. It was a nice way to go to school. He had the same values I have. We're almost married 60 years. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I am a bacteriologist. When I retired, I started working at Project Hesed. Then I got involved with National Council. I was the day chair for Bookstock. I was the chairman for the Backpack Project. I'm a cancer survivor, and I was on the board there. And I'm also heavily now involved with Jewish Historical and JARC, and now I'm going to work here. I like keeping busy. I think that's helped me keep young. I'm usually the one that has all the holidays with lots of people. My 3 kids have 2 children each. They're wonderful. They're special. It's our legacy. I love seeing them together, and it makes me very happy. My mother-in-law taught me What's important? She was one spicy lady, and I loved her. When my brother passed away, his wife died 8 years later from leukemia. I took over with my nieces. We're very close. I adore them. They're my other children. It's been good to see how they turned out. Do the right thing and you'll never be sorry. Always look out for each other. Family comes first, by far.
My name is Michael Serling. I'm 80 years old. I was born and raised in Detroit. When I think of my childhood, I think of the optimism in the world at the time. It was the end of the war. The economy got better and people had jobs, and it was a good era to be Jewish. And later on, I got into Michigan State. I got a teaching certificate, and I also got into law school. So I taught math and history while I went to law school at night. So it was a busy time, but I enjoyed teaching very much. Now that was the Vietnam era, and having the teaching certificate gave me a deferment. I traveled around, I met interesting people, I loved it, and I went to Greece and I saw a sign and it said, Athens, Tel Aviv, $35. I was on that plane, and that opened a whole new world to me. Meeting relatives that had barely gotten out of the Holocaust was an amazing experience. Changed my life. And when I came back from Israel in '68, I went on a blind date, and that was Elaine. She was a folk singer. I fell in love with her. We got married after 9 months in June of '69. In '71, we moved to Israel for a year. We came home to Detroit in the fall, and by the time I was into my mid to late 30s, I had developed an unbelievable specialty, and I built an entire law firm around asbestos work. Jewish studies and Israel studies at MSU is always a winner. Now we have 6 core positions, full-time professors, a full-time director, a study abroad Israel program. They've done an amazing job with Jewish students at MSU. The work we've done with Tamarack, incredible Israeli camper program. It's a passion that just makes our lives so complete. I created a program in the 90s with one of our Jewish senior life people, Chuck Domstein. It was a multi-ethnic teen dialogue. We called it Dream Dialogue. Elaine and I are married 55 years, and I have 2 children, and I have 4 lovely grandchildren. Being with the grandkids together is just a joy beyond belief. We see each other often. That is a very enriching part of our lives, to be with them, to try and teach them things, to have fun with them, and to stay close with our kids. To be engaged and involved with the work that you're promoting, not just with financial support, it makes your life so much brighter and adds so much depth to your life.
My name is Nancy Louise Jacobson, and I'm 84. I was born in Benton Harbor, which is a small town that's right across the lake from Chicago. The number of Jewish families tops 100, and my father and my mother, with 5 other couples, started a temple. And I to this day, love being Jewish. I have one sister, Marilyn, and she was at Michigan State, so of course I wanted to go to Michigan State too. Then I met Joey at a wedding. A girlfriend of mine married a boyfriend of his. We were married the following August. The first year, I was teaching sophomore, junior, senior English. I have to admit, some of the boys at the school were probably a year younger than I was. I really enjoyed teaching, but it was a little bit tough. Then when I was pregnant with Howard, I would be resting on the couch, and Joey's old friends and my friend was very active in Federation. She would kind of drag me, and you know what, I have loved being involved. Then there's JARC. They have just gone on to do wonderful, really great things and involve the community in so many of them. And then there's Israel Bonds, which I thought the staff was wonderful and I enjoyed working and appreciated being honored. Federation for me was just a wonderful organization where I found the women were committed to Jewish causes and being Jewish. And that was something just appealed to me, whether it was working locally in Detroit or Israel. I'll tell you, I worked with such a wonderful group of women. I think one thing that's very important about women's philanthropy, it gives women a chance to voice their opinions. There's just such a depth to their involvement and to caring and to being a good Jew and to making Israel a part of our lives. And to this day, I suggest to every parent, take your kids to Israel because it's an eye-opener. They see so much of the world, and what could be better to identify with Israel? Talk about my grandkids? Absolutely. Well, first of all, I should start with our sons. Howard and David, they're married to lovely girls. We have our 6 wonderful granddaughters, and it means the world to me to have a family that is loving and kind. To me, it's beautiful to see, and I admire it. I've learned about myself that I value kindness and being a loving person and life and liberty. Lead a good life and lead a Jewish life. That, I think, is the key to the best life can offer.
My name is Michael Maddin, nicknamed Mickey, and I'm 85 years old today. I was born in Detroit and grew up in Detroit in the Russell Woods neighborhood, which as a child I found the neighborhood wonderful. We were on the street after school playing ball or doing whatever we did until dinner time. I had a paper route from 11 to 14 years of age. I'm grateful for that experience because it helped me in every way later in life. The heaviest influence early on were my parents. I was bar mitzvahed in April of 1953. I was on my way to becoming a man. So fond memories of all of that, and then moved up to Ann Arbor for 4 years there. Lots of great friends. Wound up taking an elective called real estate law, which really piqued my interest into something that I did for almost 58 years after I graduated law school. My lovely wife, Donna, and I met the day of my last final exam in law school. We wound up talking for 3 hours, and it was my worst grade in law school. We've been married now, it's over 58 years, and have 4 wonderful kids, have gone on to become successful in what they wanted to do, and have 4 beautiful grandchildren. Other than obviously the marriage and the family that we've raised, I'm proud that I practiced law with my father for 18 years. We did a little merger with another small firm, which became what is now Maddin Hauser, with a culture that very much I helped create. In terms of volunteer activities, it was usually either reading, seeing something, or somebody calling me. I became involved in the junior division and became its president in 1971. And from there became involved with the United Jewish Foundation, which is the partner of the Federation, and I was president there. I also became involved with the Jewish Fund and eventually became its chair. Recently, I was involved with the Michigan Jewish Historical Society and became that president. Camp Tamarack always interested me, so I was on the board for years, and then I became president in the 80s. Turned out that my father was president in the 50s. Our kids and grandkids have all gone to Camp Tamarack. In terms of what I've learned, I would say the busier you are, the better you are. Saying yes is better than saying no. And if it's a worthy cause, the yes can be as simple as supporting somebody who's trying to do something important. I hope I'm remembered as a good person who cared, who contributed to the betterment of our society, and my glass is half full.
My name is Rachel Yoskowitz. I'm 81 years old. I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and lived there the first 8 years of my life. Zadie and my single aunt lived downstairs and we lived upstairs, so we were always together for Shabbat. But when I was 8, we moved to LA, and we were very active in the temple and the synagogue youth group. I was a Girl Scout and just did all the things that California kids do growing up there. My father died suddenly when I was 13, and my mother decided she wanted to be near family, so we left LA and moved to Baltimore. After high school, I went to the Sinai Hospital School of Nursing. Many years later, I went back to school and got my master's. My husband was a young rabbi just finishing the army, and he had accepted his first position as an assistant rabbi at Temple Bethel in Baltimore, and I was curious as to who this young rabbi was. And after our conversation, it was a really short conversation, I got home that night, my phone was ringing. We had our first date November 4th, and we got engaged just 3 weeks later, and we were married on February 11th. And when my husband was called to serve at Bet Achim, we came to Detroit. I'm so blessed to have 6 such wonderful kids, 3 by birth and 3 by marriage, not to mention the 8 beautiful grandchildren who have come into our family. We're so proud of their uniqueness and what they are doing in their own lives. Israel is my passion. My second passion is helping people. I'm proudest about Project Chesed, where the Jewish community came together. 700 doctors volunteered to see pro bono patients, and together in 2010 alone, they donated $7 million in care to help 1,300 vulnerable members of the Jewish community. As a founding faculty member of the Oakland University William Beaumont School of Medicine, I had the assignment of setting up a community service program. I also take great pride in having been able to volunteer just this past year for the National Bone Marrow Donation Registry. It's been a long journey. God sent me to my husband for a reason, and with all of his wonderful encouragement and support, to do meaningful things, to help people. And hopefully, in the time God has left for me, I hope I'll be able to continue to help people and make a difference for our family and for others.
My name is Neil Satovsky. I'm 80 years old. I was born in Detroit and raised in Detroit. I grew up with my grandparents for the first 8 years of my life. It was really a great experience. My grandfather bought me a Kiddush book for Shabbat. Every Friday night we'd have the family over, and it was chaos. We loved it. And you just grow up seeing your role models involved in things. So that kind of instilled to me, being Jewish, doing Jewish things. I went to University of Michigan and met Yoni, and things took off from there. Meeting Yoni was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. She's always been a tremendous influence in my life. She motivates me. So I went to work, became a CPA for 68 to 75, and then came to a fork in the road. I went back into the family building business. I did that from 75 until just recently retired. Joni was a teacher for a few years. Brian was born, and my daughter Nikki. We had a great time growing up. Joni's always been an educator, and I've always believed in education. You always keep learning. For me, it's been learning Torah. Over the years, I've been involved in the community in a lot of different ways. Started off with the Federation, Junior Division, Jewish Home for the Aged, the Jewish Vocational Service, always involved at the Congregation Shar Tzedek, Yeshiva Gedola, Hillel of Metro Detroit. I think one of my favorite activities for Jewish Senior Life was Utzel Camp for the seniors. We'd take the seniors out on a rowboat, and I brought my fishing rods. We had a good time. I've stayed on the committee for 8 over 80 since the beginning because it just represents honoring the people that form us. There's an expression in the Torah called V'hadarta Pnei Zakein, and it's honoring older people. Try to live by the fifth commandment, honor your parents. I am most proud of the way my children and grandchildren have grown up and they've been mensches. The greatest influence on me has been my father because I worked with him. I saw him put on tefillin every morning, go to shul. It was obviously a big influence on being Jewish, living Jewish, but it was always in me to learn more. So I had a journey, so to speak. Giving is a great feeling when you put a smile on someone's face, when you help Jews all over the world. You help a child catch a fish. It's just, that's the Jewish way. It's what it's all about. I probably would want people to remember me as a mensch, a guy that loved being with people, loved to get involved in the community, loved fishing. My advice to the younger generation is live Jewishly, be confident but humble when you deal with people. Be a mensch, do good deeds.
Trust your instincts. Do what you want to do, not what you think others expect you to do. Do it because it's the right thing for you and it's the right thing for your community.
Listen to people. Try to figure out what's important to them and see if you can work it out.
I think you have to be anchored in your values. People who are true to themselves, I think, have a much easier time maintaining their own value system in life.
Try things that you don't think you like. The more you do, the more you'll become better at what you could do in the future.
Stay involved. No matter what's going on in your life, stay involved. Keep doing what you do.
Make wise decisions, lead a good life, and lead a Jewish life. That, I think, is the key to the best life can offer.
Reach for the stars. If you don't try, you'll never know what you can achieve. So strive and soar.
Oh, Scott Wasserman, filmmaker, you did it again. Wow. He turned 8 hours of interviews into 24 minutes of really superb joy. Let's give another round of applause to the honorees as they rise and make their way to the front of the room. And the Franco students will also rise and come to the front of the room. And the honorees will sit in these chairs, and the students will sit in between. So we might have to stretch the chairs out a little bit.
So students, begin by saying your name and who your honoree is. Just speak slowly into the mic.
I'm Sydney Michelson. My honoree is Deede Auster. It has been extremely inspiring learning from her, and she reminded me how important it is to always be involved in my community.
Hi, I'm Jessie Tract. My honoree was Nancy Jacobson, and it has been such an honor getting to know her. It's been such a special experience. Every chance I got to talk to her, I had so much fun, and she really taught me that it's important to honor family, because she talks so highly of her family all the time, and it's very important to hear about that, and I honor my family too because of her.
Hello, I'm Louis Kowalski. I had the honor of being paired with Neil Satovsky, who's made a lasting impact on the Jewish community. One thing I admire about Neil is his emphasis on tikkun olam and doing good deeds. I'm grateful for the time we spent together and everything that he taught me.
Hi everyone, my name is Zeev Main. I had the honor of being paired with Michael Maddin. So, how did he make a difference today? This is the biggest lesson I learned from being paired with Mr. Maddin and becoming friends with him. Thank you so much for all the life lessons that you have taught me and that I will always carry with me. Mazel tov, and also happy birthday.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Reinstein, and I've had the honor of being paired with Michael Serling. Working with and learning from Mr. Serling over these past few months have been an absolute honor and privilege. From Mr. Serling, I have learned that we should always be open to advice which can better ourselves and also to take charge of great opportunities when they come our way.
Hello, my name is Zoe Kelman. I had the honor of working with Barbara Kratchman, and getting to know you has been an incredible experience. And as I said to my mom on the first day I met you, I don't think I'll ever be as cool as Barbara is. Congratulations on this achievement. I can't think of anyone more deserving. I can't wait for more talks over tea.
My name is Paige Mirav Radner, and I was paired with Rachel Yoskowitz. She has inspired me and many others to reach out to people and help them as much as possible. And it has been a pleasure getting to know her and her accomplishments throughout the Jewish community.
Hi, my name is Mia Schlussel, and I had the unique opportunity to be paired with my grandfather, Mark Schlussel. This experience taught me about my papa beyond the ways that I was familiar with. I always knew he was a loving and appreciating grandfather, but I never truly realized the impact he has made on the community. Congrats, Papa.
What? Wow. Thank you, students, for your thoughtful presentations. Honorees and students, stay where you are with your partners and allow some time for Brett Mountain, I'm going to get out of the way, to capture your photos. And I want to thank Ned Specktor for your role in today's very special event. Everybody enjoy. Stay for the hugs. Finish your food. You can hang out unless you have another event to go to. And we loved having you here. Please designate somebody with the birthday closest to today to take home that fabulous bouquet in the middle. And now Ned is going to close us out.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you. So don't forget to mark your calendars. Join us next year, Sunday, May 17th, 2026, for the 33rd anniversary of 8 over 80. 2026 nominations are now open. Thank you so much to the honorees and all of our guests for joining us today. Have a wonderful afternoon. Mazel tov to all.